So let's talk about now the factors that affect population density. So we have the limiting factors. So when you say limiting factors, these are anything that limits the size of a population. Okay? So yung naglilimit, nag-maintain, nagde-decrease ng size ng population, ang tawag doon limiting factors, na. So limiting factors keep population from number one, increase in size. Okay? So number two is to help balance an ecosystem. So yun yung ginagawa ng limiting factors. Um, Example of this are number one, availability of food, no? So kapag hindi ganun karami yung food sa isang community or sa isang habitat, no, the population will compete, and this will eventually decrease their size, no. Next, for water, okay, so of course water, that's the same with the food. Number three is living conditions. Okay, so if it is suitable for them to live in that specific area. If it's not, also of course they will migrate, no? Or if uh, they can't survive if there are some harsh conditions, no? And then number four, we have light and temperature. Okay, so yun, pag sobrang init, pag sobrang lamig, no? So yun, pwedeng nag-decrease yung density dun sa isang area. And then number five is soil nutrients. Of course, if there's not much nutrients in the soil, of course, population will decrease because the plants will not grow there properly, no? So, of course, we obtain our food from the plants, and these plants eventually are eaten this by the animals, no? So ano yan, domino effect yan. So yan yung mga example ng limiting factors. So this could limit the population in a certain area or a certain community. Okay, so carrying capacity now is the maximum population size and environment can support. So ano ba yung maximum na kayang suportahan, no, ng environment? Ano yung maximum population, no? Ang tawag dun is the carrying capacity. Okay? So if the population size increases above the carrying capacity, organisms die because they cannot meet all their needs. Okay? Pag sobrang overpopulated sa isang area, no, hindi na kayang i-support the environment kung ano yung mga pangangailangan nung ano na yan, ng population na yan. Okay, parang di sa Metro Manila, sobrang siksik na dito yung mga tao, no? Kaya ngayon, nagkaroon ng competition, no? And hindi na kayang i-hold yung water, especially during flood, no? Dahil nga wala nang halos sa space eh. Kaya nagbabaha di sa Metro Manila. So yun yung isang example nun. Okay, next we have extinction. It is the disappearance of a species when the last of its members die. So pag sinabi natin extinction, maski isa wala nang natira doon sa species na 'yon, no? Example niyan is yung mga mammoth, no? Yung mga mammoth, those are big elephants, no? Or dinosaurs. So, extinct na pag wala na talaga. So, 'yun. Ibig sabihin ng extinction. We all know that, right? So, we have two types of extinction. Number one is background extinction. Number two is mass extinction. When you say background extinction, it is the normal or natural extinction. The standard rate of extinction before humans contribute to extinction of organisms. So, background extinction is the natural way of extinction. So, walang human intervention dito, no? So, sila mismo, it's either nagkaroon ng kakapusan sa pagkain sa environment nila or sila mismo nagpatayan, no? So, yun, walang human intervention dyan. While in mass extinction, it is the widespread and rapid decrease in the amount of biodiversity. Okay, it happens when the rate of extinction is greater than the rate of formation of new species. Okay, so mas mabilis daw mamatay, no, yung mga organisms kaysa dun sa pag-form, no? Pagpapanganak sa mga bagong organisms or species na yan, no? Siyempre, merong human intervention, no? So, hinuhuli, pinapatay sila, Kaya nauubos. Okay? So, yung dalawang klaseng extinction. Next, we have the causes of extinction. Ano ba ang mga dahilan bakit nagkakaroon ng extinction? Number one, we have changes to habitat due to increasing population. So, yun. Yung pagbabago sa habitat nila. No? Yung sinabi na nating habitat, yung area, lugar kung saan sila nakatira. No? Yun yung baga may address yung yung organism. Yun yung address nila. Tawag dun is habitat. Okay? So, overpopulation, nagkakos ng extinction. Pangalawa is natural vegetation in the area has been cleared. So, wala na nga mga gulay, wala na silang makain, no? Dun sa area kasi wala na, pinatay na yung mga halaman dun eh, yung mga trees dun. So, saan pa sila kukuha ng pagkain nila, di ba? So, yun. Next is concrete structures and other organisms gradually take over the area. Yun, no? Yung mga areas na mapuno, pinagpuputol yung puno, ginawang mga subdivision, no? Yung mga plating palayan, ginawang subdivision. So, yun. Tinayon ng mga establishments. So, yun, nagkakos ng extinction yun. Siyempre, aalis dun yung mga yung mga organisms, and then sa lilipatan nila, hindi sila maka-adapt. So, mamatay sila. Next, some areas were destroyed by natural disasters. Yun. Pasensya na kayo sa mga typo. Okay, so yun, bagyo, lindol, no? Forest fires, those are natural disasters na hindi talaga maiwasan, no? So, nagkakos ng extinction. Next, you have human intervention like poaching, kaingin, muroami, etc. So, yun, yung pinaka-greatest contributor to human extinction, to extinction per se, is human, no? So, yun. Tayo yung pinakamalaki yung kasalanan dito kung bakit sila na-extinct, no? Next, you have the local and global issues that contribute to species extinction. You have deforestation. It's the cutting of trees caused by kaingin farming. Pag sinabi natin kaingin, that's the clearing of land by burning of trees. Next, you have illegal logging. Okay, conversion of agricultural lands to housing projects. Okay, parang may kilala akong ganito. Hindi ko na babanggitin, no? Okay, next we have forest fires or mga wildfires, and we have typhoons. Yun yung mga causes ng deforestation, no? Pagkaubos ng mga puno. Number one, yung dahilan, yung illegal logging, no? Yan. Tapos yung conversion ng mga yan sa housing projects, no? Mga subdivision. Deforestation results to, number one, soil erosion. Pagguho ng lupa. Siyempre, wala na yung mga ugat ng puno na kumakapit dun sa lupa. Kaya pag bumaha, lalambot yung lupa, magkakaroon ng soil erosion. Next, we have floods. Yan. Alam natin yan, no? Nakaraan lang. Na-experience ng ibang areas yan dahil sa bagyo. Next, number 3 is decrease in wildlife resources that will eventually lead to extinction. So, pagkaubos ng wildlife dahil sa, yung resources nila. Wala na silang pagkain, no? Wala na yung mga puno, wala na yung mga halaman na pinagkukunan nila ng pagkain nila. Okay, so next is wildlife depletion, the disappearance of wildlife species. Okay, so yun, similar lang. Next, we have pollution. Number 2, bukod sa deforestation, we have pollution. It is the contamination of air, soil, and water, making it inhabitable. So, sino ba naman maka-survive pag yung water is contaminated, no? Kapag yung hangin is polluted, no? So, yan. Alam natin yan. So, kaya may mga ikita tayo, mga namamatay na isda, di ba? Lumulutang na lang sa lake or sa dagat. Kasi nga, polluted, no? So, yun. Si biggest contributor dyan, syempre tayo mga tao, no? Basura natin. Next, we have eutrophication. Ano ba yung tinatag na eutrophication? It occurs when fertilizers, animal waste, and other organic substances that are rich in nitrogen and phosphorus flow to the bodies of water causing algal bloom. So, yung eutrophication, halimbawa, yung nakita nyo yung Pasig River, ang dami niyang water lilies. Yung iba natutuwa, ay, ang daming water lilies. Pero yung eutrophication, yung pagdami ng water lilies na yun, sign yun ng eutrophication. Okay, bakit? Kapag maraming water lilies dun sa ibabaw ng ilog, hindi makaka-penetrate yung sunlight papunta sa ilalim. Alam natin sa ilalim ng ilog, marami ring mga organisms yan, di ba? May mga isda dyan, may mga planktons. So, pag natakpan na sila ng mga water lilies, hindi na makaka-penetrate yung sunlight. Okay? So, pag hindi naka-penetrate yung sunlight, ang isa pang mawawala is yung oxygen, no? Oxygen, dahil nga napaprocess yung oxygen through photosynthesis. Hindi nakapag-photosynthesize yung nasa ilalim ng mga planktons. Okay, so madi-deflate ng oxygen nasa ilalim, walang oxygen na gagamitin yung mga isda. So nagkakaroon ng fish kill. Okay, so yun yung eutrophication. Pagdami rin ng mga algal blooms, mga kulay green na yan, ng mga lumot. Okay, so naipag-compete yan doon sa sa sunlight and sa oxygen. Kaya may mga nawawalan, no, ng mga organisms na nandoon sa ilalim. Next, we have algal bloom. Actually, isa sa mga dahilan niya kung bakit pinalinis yung Boracay, yung algal bloom. Dati, nung nagpunta kami ng Boracay, no, may mga lumot sa gilid. Yung pala, yung mga algae, no. So, algal bloom increase absorption of nutrients by algae. This blocks the sunlight from reaching other organisms, causing depletion in the oxygen levels and secrete toxins in water. Red tide is an example of algal bloom. So, yun nga. Yung algal bloom causes din yan is yung mga human waste, no? So, yun nga, di ba nakita natin may mga ibang mga establishment nagtatapon ng mga dumi nila doon sa Boracay or sa other bodies of water. And this causes pollution. And later on, it causes the formation of algal or algae, no? Algal blooms na tinatawag natin. So, yan. Hindi siya maganda tingnan, no? Kasi actually toxin 'yan, no? Isang example niya yung red tide. Pag yung toxin na to, bacteria to na dun sa water. Okay, so pag nakain siya ng mga organisms, just like yung mga hipon, yung mga tahong, okay, so pwede silang mag-cause ng diseases. Okay, yung pagkalason. Next, we have acid precipitation. So, commonly known as acid rain, rainwater is acidic due to carbon dioxide in the air. Other pollutants like sulfur and nitrogen oxides react with water to form sulfuric acid and nitric acid. Nitric acid yan. Acid rain can cause yellowing of leaves of trees and nutrients can be lost from the soil. So, yun. Yung acid rain, alam natin yung rainwater, acidic talaga yan. Pero, pag nag-combine yan with other substances in the air, just like what we have mentioned, yung sulfur at saka yung nitrogen, it forms acid, no, or acidic substances, which are sulfuric acid and nitric acid. And these are very corrosive, strong acid siya mga yan eh. So, pwedeng makasira yan ng mga establishments, no? Pwedeng makasira ng mga nasa nature, no? Makasira ng mga ng mga habitat, no, ng mga organisms. So, yun yung acid precipitation. Nagkakos din daw ng yellowing of leaves and nutrients can be lost from the soil. So, yun yung pinakamalang effect niya, no? Mawala yung mga nutrients na nasa lupa. Okay, next we have overexploitation is the excessive use of species that have economic value. It happens when the rate of harvest exceeds the rate of replacement. Fishing and logging are examples. So, yun. So, in-exploit na yung environment, no? To the point na wala na halos natitira. No? So, illegal logging, overfishing. So, yun yung mga ginagawa natin na overexploitation sa nature natin. Okay, so, yun. Mamaya na yan. Uling ko muna dito. Konti na lang naman eh. Tuloy ko na. Konti na lang pala to. We have International Union for Conservation of Nature or IUCN. So yung IUCN isang organization yan, known for its assessment of conservation status of species and collection of the list of known species. There are 9 criteria for classifying species. So yun, meron daw 9 criteria for classifying species. We have EX for extinct, EW for extinct in the wild. Okay, we have CR, critically endangered. Next, we have EN, endangered. Next, we have VU, vulnerable. NT is near threatened. LC is least concerned. DD is data deficient, and NE is not evaluated. Okay, so the red list categories: extinct, no reasonable doubt that the last individual has died. So, wala nang natira, extinct na, maski isang species, no? So, yun yung EX or extinct. Next, EW, extinct in the wild, known only to survive in captivity, cultivation, or well outside its natural range. So, extinct in the wild, wala na sa wild, pero meron daw sa captivity, yung mga ginagawang pets o sa mga nasa zoo, yun yung extinct in the wild. Next, critically endangered, facing extremely high risk of extinction in the wild. So, yun yung CR. No? Delikado na talaga, maubos sila, no? Ma-extinct sila. Next, we have EN, are endangered, facing a very high risk of extinction in the wild. Okay, halos the same lang doon kay CR. So, VU, vulnerable, facing a high risk extinction in the wild. Yun, mga threatened na kasi mga yan. And then we have near threatened, close to qualifying or likely to qualify for a threatened category in the near future. Least concern, LC, population is stable enough that it is unlikely to face extinction in the near future. So, pag LC daw, marami pa. Pag data deficient, not enough information on abundance or distribution to estimate its risk of extinction. Next, let's elaborate on your page 11 or 12. Page 11 to 12 of your module, study the given data and compute the biodiversity index as well as the population density. So, then answer activity 3 by matching the causes of extinction to corresponding picture. So, ito yung nandun sa sa makikita nyo na data sa biodiversity. So, compute nyo lang yung biodiversity index nito. Tapos, pagdating dun sa population density, ibang given, yung population sa Taguig, yung yun doon, makikita nyo doon. So, yun. Diniscuss ka naman na yung kanina. So, I think alam nyo lang paano siya gawin. Okay, so, next answer, let's apply and let's evaluate on page 14 to 15. Yung let's evaluate, yun yung post-test nyo. So, let's find out if you learned something from this discussion. And then, let's extend. Go to web page. Yung web page nyo is www.iucnredlist.org to identify the conservation status of some Philippine species. So, makikita niyo yan doon, no? So, may mga letters kayo makikita doon. Gaya, halimbawa, extinct in the wild, EW. No, kapag extinct, EX. So, i-type nyo lang yung mga species na yan na nakikita nyo dyan. Alamin nyo yung criteria nila, tapos alamin nyo rin yung scientific name ng bawat isa. So, yan lang. Okay, so, salamat.